Why do we feel lazy? Why do at times do we feel like we should be doing something? Why at times when we are ill or have nothing to do we feel like we should be doing something? When really sometimes we need the rest. Now, one thing that has come to me recently is the need to be doing something all the time. And just quickly, while I acknowledge it, I haven't seen it, I saw it earlier, I thought I'd leave it on. Somewhere, you might have seen on the image before, I have a ladybird on me. Somewhere. But anyway, the reason I'm recording this is because over the last 2 or 3 days, I haven't been myself. Had this sense of illness. I've had this sense of sitting on the couch, binge watching, relaxing, resting, recuperating. But part of me at this moment in time feels really lazy. I feel like I should be doing something. I feel like I'm wasting my life. I feel like I'm not able to completely be myself because I have this sense of inferiority, this sense of not being good enough. I'm not good enough to achieve my purpose. I'm not good enough to achieve my dream. I'm not good enough to accomplish what I'm here to do. And so I felt like I wanted to talk about laziness and how what is laziness? What is laziness? And it's different to different people, isn't it? But from my own perspective, laziness is not doing what you feel you should be doing. So, for example, spending a whole day on the couch, resting, recuperating, I feel like I should be doing something. To me, that feels lazy. And because laziness has come through to me, I feel like laziness wants to speak through me to the whole collective. And so, just before I connect to the laziness within me, I want to acknowledge that sometimes we need to be lazy. Sometimes we have laziness, we have productivity, but if we're too productive all the time, we hit burnout. So we need to swing back and to between productivity and laziness. And maybe we don't have to be lazy. We could hit it there rather than there. And so part of me wants to speak to the idea that it's about recuperating, it's about being in the moment, it's about acknowledging that sometimes we need that rest, sometimes we need to slow down, sometimes we need to be in that sense of that dreamy phase, that sense of acknowledging that slowness, that quietness, that sense of place where in hindsight we feel lazy, but we're not. We're not being lazy. We are acknowledging slowing down. We're acknowledging, and what I've come to realise is that the more that I slow down, the more actually the ideas and inspiration come to me. And in fact, just while I just think about it, that ladybird that was on me, it is somewhere there. I can't quite see where he is, so he's gone. I think he's either gone. Oh, there he is. He's on my pod there. He's camera shy. The ladybird, just in this moment, represents slowing down. Ladybirds generally, when they walk, are slow. They're very methodical. They search for the right route around. They aren't fast-paced. They aren't like the hare. They're more, not quite like a tortoise, but they're more like a tortoise. And so there's that acknowledgement of slowing down, and that ladybird represents that. So let me just connect to that laziness within my body. So firstly, I want to acknowledge, James, that the way that you have acknowledged me. It's hard to acknowledge something like laziness, because to us, to people, laziness is you should be doing something, you should be busy, you should be doing this, you should be accomplishing things, not being lazy, sitting on your arse all the time. And so there's this level of always doing something, doing, but inside all that there is this sense of, just that sense of peace. When you are lazy, you are able to relax, to let go, to be at peace, to be in that sense of space, to be present, to be to slow down enough to witness what's going on around you. When you're so fast-paced, you can't acknowledge, you can't see what's going on. And so I want to acknowledge the sense that how you acknowledge me, and how, for me, that is the key. That is the process that we need to be working through, is to acknowledge every part of ourselves, not just the parts that we want, the parts that are part of us that we don't like about ourselves, that we can't see, that we find are disruptive. These are the parts that need to be acknowledged, because when you acknowledge us, you almost allow us to be in that sense of we can come into alignment with who you are. We can work with you rather than against you. And so you find it easier to move ahead in that pace of speed of thing. So like if you were always trying to be too productive and speed, you hit that block. When you acknowledge every part of yourselves, it might not be that fast pace that you think it's all about, but it might be faster progression than you would be if you're always productive. As you've noticed, when you slow down and you acknowledge that moment, ideas come to you, and that's what you want. You want the inspiration to fly through you, that creativity, that sense of ideas, and that is the key to progression. Rather than do. You have that slowing down, that sense of peace, that sense of calmness. So I want to finish off by acknowledging and thanking you again, because through that acknowledgement, we can work together as one, as peace, as slowness, as progression. So thank you. Yeah. That's where I switch out of these kind of chats, or channeling, shall I say. So there you go. Laziness is teaching us actually that sometimes we need to slow down. We need to become present. We need to be in the moment. And we need to acknowledge ourselves truthfully and fully, and not just acknowledge the parts of us that want what we want to see. We have to acknowledge the parts that we don't want to see. So there, thank you very much. And I just want to acknowledge everybody out there who listens, because sometimes we get so much content out there, and it's finding the right content. So if you found that, thank you very much for listening, and have a good day.